am so sorry about the tech issues we've been having. It really is one of those mornings, but hopefully you'll be forgiving to us since we have a wonderful spider for you. Some may not be forgiving just because of the spider. But I do love it. You know that I love my spideys. And here, of course, we do have a golden orb web, a Nephelia senegalensis. I was just saying to Seb, we've seen so many the last few days. I think in the last 3 days I've seen as many golden orbs. And then we have a male who's trying very hard to go unnoticed, I suppose, but he's rather close. And at the moment she's only got one around her, so very little competition for him. Now what I want to look at is that sometimes around the edges of the web you get a little kleptoparasitic spider called a dewdrop spider that look exactly like little dewdrops. So I'm gonna just, not like that. Just look with my torch around the edges. Do you see anything? I don't see anything yet. No, maybe she's just lucky. So what these dewdrop spiders will do, yeah, sometimes around the edges they have like little drops. It looks like silver droplets. No. Well, sometimes around the edges they have these spiders, and what they'll do is they'll eat any leftovers that the golden orb has then. Oh, that may be one. No. We were also saying how cool it is that you won't be able to see it on camera very clearly, but there are a whole lot of lines of web before you actually reach the main web. Ooh, 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 ooh. You got something there. Guys, we've just watched a live hunt. Look at that. So you saw her the way she went there, really, really fast, and she would have struck it. It's a fly. Cool, hey?
Very cool.
It's still alive. Now you see the way that she walks on this web. Oh, there she goes. She's spinning it. Look at that. Oh, Lauren, you say you don't like spiders with golden orbs are really pretty. Yes, they are. I like, all spiders. Now look at that. Now her spinnerets are right there on her abdomen at the bottom, and that's where she's pulling the silk out of and spinning this fly. How awesome is this?
So awesome.
This is so cool. Wow.
It's like an alien a bit,
It does. It looks like it's some outer space creature. Look at her coordination. That is stunning. Yeah. There, did you see the way that she just touched her spinnerets to the web and then she left him to hang? Wow. Yes, indeed, it is a live kill on camera, Dory. How exciting. I'm so captivated right now. This thing is amazing. Can you see the little hairs all over? Well, it looks like she's settled in to have her snack now. In the meantime, let us send you over to Oli, who has my favorite little ones, the hyenas.
These cubs are still feeding. Some are still playing. And Trishala is having some nice sightings. I wish I was there. But I'm having this wonderful sighting also. So what's happening here is what was happening yesterday with Jamie, because this one of the youngsters here, the old ones, just grabbed this youngster with its ear and sent it back to the parent to suckle. So the hyena we are looking at right now is Ribbon. Ribbon is part of the Juma clan. I think she's a low-ranking female. So because I don't know where she fits in the hierarchy. And then the ones on top there are June's cubs. That's another female who's part of this clan. She's out and about. That's why we have these two cubs with this other parent. She will keep guard. Sherry, what a nice question there. Sherry, sorry about that. Yes, they're growing quick and fast, these youngsters. Last time I was here 3 weeks ago, they were not looking like this, but now they are sporty all over their body. And that's what is happening now, grabbing each other with the ears. I don't know whether they do hit each other or not, but I think it's just play fighting. Earlier on, we had some birds alarming, so I was checking around and I saw nothing. So we have something interesting happening this morning with the bushwalk. Let's go and see Jamie.
Hi, and a very good morning to all of you. My name is Jamie, and this morning Craig is on camera with me, and we are indeed out on foot, which is of course why we start that much later. It's late enough for us to be safely out on foot and heading out to investigate a mystery. That's why I'm walking at the moment, is because we have a puzzle to solve. Now, yesterday evening when we got back, because Seb actually stayed where he lives in the same house as Tristan and myself, so we all live together separately from the rest of the camp, and Seb was staying at Inga's to make dinner with his family. And we were all having dinner at the normal camp at DRC. And when we got back, Seb was standing outside going, "Did you hear that?" To which we said, "No, we didn't hear anything." And he said, "No, something's been killed outside, or perhaps fighting." So apparently there was a lot of growling, and he thought it was lions, or perhaps, we weren't actually quite sure what it was. But apparently there was screaming as well. It was sufficiently loud and concerning enough for someone to come out of the camp and come and investigate and make sure that they were safe, because apparently it sounded like lions and a person screaming. It definitely wasn't a person screaming, and it might not have been lions, because the Nkuhumas apparently are on Londolozi, or almost at Londolozi. But I think I know what it is. I have a theory. I think that it has something to do with the animal that made this. And this is a particularly violent mark that was made here. And when rhinos fight, they make the most unbelievable noises. And when they mate, they also make very peculiar noises. It consists of squealing, grunting, growling. It's like nothing you've ever heard before. Rhinos make the most unexpected sounds when they are either in some sort of conflict, even talking to each other. They sound a little bit like dolphins or whales. It's a sort of squeaky sound. And this is the scrape mark of a very, very intent white rhino territorial bull. Nice and fresh. And basically what he does is he comes and defecates on the midden. The midden, of course, is where all rhinos will defecate. It's basically like it's a social media post, but all in one place. So they update each other about what they're doing, whether they're reproductively ready, whether they are with the calf, whether they are subordinate, and in the case of the males, a very clear display of dominance. And what they do is they defecate, they urinate, and then they scrape. Now, apparently some of you heard the sounds on the dam cam. I wish somebody had got a recording, because it might actually be quite interesting to play it back and try and figure it out. But I think this is the beginning of the answer. And it just gives you an idea as to the size of an animal, or of the white rhino himself. Look at these scrapes. Look at how far they extend and scratch and kick backwards. Now I'm going to keep checking around here and just make doubly sure that we're not just jumping to conclusions. So we'll try and figure out the mystery of the noises at night. While we do, Pat is solving the mystery of what his lions did during the night.
Well, the Owinos are still here and still devouring this giraffe. So it does look like that has been very destroyed since last night. We can see that there's not much remaining, but still enough apparently for one of these lionesses to still get in for a bit of a feast. Now I believe this is one of Butternut's children. I think it's the ridge-nosed female, but I just can't be sure until she takes her head out of that carcass. She's been very, very invested in getting to whatever piece of meat may lie where she is trying to get right now. It's been going on for about 5 minutes now. She's just had her head in this same spot, trying to lap up the last of this giraffe. But there's also plenty of hyenas around and all sorts. Oh, hello. Hello, you. You snuck up there. This one was in a food coma before, a very big food coma. I'm pretty sure this one is the one we unofficially named Papaya. Another one of the daughters, the sister to the ridge-nosed female. You've decided to come out of your food coma. You're going to go for a morning run? Nope. Back. She looked up at me as if to say, don't judge me. It's great to see them all feasting away and having a nice big meal. This is the first time I've seen them with fat tums for a very long time. Now, just here there is one hyena. Oh, we might not be able to get that. I'll just move back a little bit. Go, should be able to see that one now. So this is one of about 3 that I've seen in the last 5 minutes, all just waiting on the outskirts, hoping that these lions go away. It is beautiful, Linda. Beautiful to see young lioness with such a big old tummy and looking in good condition. Well, there's another hyena ahead as well, trying to get in on the action. But it seems like I am not the only one with hyenas. Lauren is also in the Masai Mara and has some of those spotted ones of her own.
Well, I don't think we do have more hyenas, but we do have a little cubby who, just on cue, has gone back inside. But has indeed been bounding about the usual high energetic way of a hyena cub, and mother is looking very exhausted, the typical way a hyena mother does. Now, the reason we sort of came here and the reason we've sort of given you an update here is because indeed the hyena den is worryingly quiet. Now, oh, cubby's coming out, cubby's coming. There we go. Good morning. What's that little character from Lord of the Rings again? Gollum. It's got a bit of a look of Gollum, like a really cute Gollum. Not an ugly Gollum. An adorable Gollum. Anyway, The North Clan is worryingly quiet, so I think I did mention to you all that there may have been an incident here involving lions. That is the sort of theory, no proof, just a general theory that is going around, because it's just not as active as it was a week ago. Every time we've popped our head in here, we're only seeing one mother with one cub, and therefore, where is everybody else? I have spoke to the hyena researchers, and indeed, they did find a mother with their cubs hiding very far from here. So what has happened? Normally when we come here, it's filled with adults, and even Waffles herself, and it's filled with many cubs of all ages bounding about. So where is everybody? Now it seems like one mother, this is either Remington or Crim. I'm just not getting the best look at her side pattern right now. I think it could be Crim. And obviously one cub. So where is everybody else? Where's the other mother? And where's the other cubs? Slightly worrying if they have relocated dens, and if they have, why haven't these two joined them? Now, the argument regarding the cubs is still ongoing, and I am on the fence that there is only 3 black cubs. It's either 3 or 4. I come here a lot, as many of you know, and I have only seen 3. I think one mother has 2, and I think the other mother has 1. So I think just somewhere along... Oh, you just laid down on your little cubby, Mom. Now Cub's like, well, I'm going to climb on you and go for the most awkward suckle position ever. Yeah, that could not have been comfortable. So, of course, it is adorable coming here and seeing this wonderful sighting, but I do have concerns. So I am just going to let the hyena girls know that the den is just far too quiet. So I believe Patrick has some hyenas making an approach to this carcass. So let's go across to him and see what's happening.
Well, maybe not so brave in the end. We had 2 hyenas right where this one is right now in the long grass. And they were coming over, just slowly making their way up. And then they poked their head up and saw that within very close proximity is another lioness. And so they have retreated a little bit still. And for good reason too. Yesterday, during the day, I was here with the carcass, and Lychee just absolutely annihilated one of the hyenas that was trying to come in and get themselves a bit of a meal. I think this one's Lychee here. It looks like it, just judging by the colour of that coat. And now I did misidentify the one that was eating. I thought it was one of the lionesses, but once it pulled its head out and started walking around, it seems to be Butternut. It was scent marking once again, and also had that limp that we saw last night, that unfortunate limp. So that means that it's not the complete pride here still. There's only 3 of the 4 females, and I did see the male when I did pull up a while ago. He was walking off that direction, so I am just going to move around and see if I can pick back up on both him and Butternut. Yeah, poor old Butternut. Looks like oh, hang on. I just want to see if these hyenas decide to come in. They're slowly edging their way in. So I did see as well when I was coming here a very fat hyena on the outskirts. So obviously a couple of them have made some successful missions. But they're just very timid about it. We saw last night that one that successfully managed to get a strip of what looked to be neck, but I can still see this giraffe's neck is still kind of, well, intact might not be the best word for it, but more so intact than the rest of its body. So these are brave little hyenas. Come on in. Oh, we've got more. Strength in numbers, fellas. Or fellarettes. Very hard to tell the sexes of a hyena. Oh, one's getting very close now, and well, I wonder if it's seen a lion. The lion definitely hasn't seen it. It's very chilled out. There's probably about 10 meters, 30 feet between the two. Even closer now. Oh, you're playing with fire. They've been noticed. So these ones are being very sneaky, much like Ribbon's hyenas. Very sneaky also. Ooh, are they going to do it? The lions definitely notice them. Oh, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Just walking through, just walking through. Don't mind us. It would actually be interesting to see just how aggressively the lions defend the carcass now that they have been feeding on it for almost 24 hours. They're all looking very full and therefore a little bit less mobile. Oh, there's a jackal on the scene now. It's just, we probably won't be able to see it. It's just behind this termite mound here. We can just see its head poking up. There we go. The brave black-backed jackal. Always on the scene. Associated with lions for millennia. The Khoikhoi used to always tell stories of these black-backed jackals deceiving and outwitting the lions, always being around them, but managing it to take their food. Oh, and the hyenas, so it's a scavenger party now. It's going to be interesting to see what happens if they actually approach the carcass. Ray's saying that the hyenas are saying, "Don't push me." That's right. They are being brave. This one here. Hello. Oh, they are such a cute little canine, aren't they? Brave, cute, very, very cool. I am growing more fond of them every day that passes. Oop, what was that? I think that was from the hyena. So they're all starting to close in now. There's 2 jackals and 3 hyenas very close to the carcass. I'm just having a look. It's a bit wider to see if there's any more fringing in, but this seems to be it. Lychee just not overly phased, definitely has her head up and looking about, but not using any sort of force right now. Come on, one of you must be hungry enough. Oh, here comes the jackal. Wisteria jackals are just a darling. They are very cool little animals. They're such small, actually, very, very good saying applies to the jackal. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. And these guys have a lot of, well, maybe not so much a lot of fight, but definitely a lot of bravery. Yeah, fringing in on the lion. The other week as well, I saw 5 jackals manage to chase off 2 cheetahs from a carcass and get themselves a feed. Apologies for that vehicle in the background. Well, it looks like these guys are taking their time to move in here. So I will wait it out and see if any action does arise even. But I believe Oli has got something of the arachnid sort.
I've left the hyena den because Ribbon left and the cubs went in. But on my way, I'm still struggling with Dedri. Is it your name? Am I spelling your name? Dedri. Yes, Dedri spotted this on our way to the eastern part of the reserve from the hyena den. So this is a bark spider and it's feeding time because now this insect that you can see on your left there, it's dying a slow, painful death because the spider has beaten it. So it injected the venom, and then I'm sure after it's dead, then it will devour it. So it's these cameras are doing an amazing job, because I can't even really see the spider just right here in front of the car, but I can't see it because of the sun. So you can see it there, but look at that. This is what I see when I'm here. But because of the cameras, we can. Actually, this spider, it got so lucky because it was eating this web. And then while it was still busy doing that, this fella landed here. And then now it stopped. And it will feed. And will go back to its resting spot. So, while this guy is waiting to die slowly, let's go to Peth, who's with lions chasing a prey.
Well, the jackals did manage to sneak in and get a little taste just then, but the lions still defending this carcass, and so have come back over in number. There's 3 of them now, and well, they're up. Why not just put that little bit more of meat in the belly? So the hyenas still on the fringes here, still definitely within close proximity. But now that there's 3 lions at the carcass, I think they're going to bide their time for a little bit longer. We've got the young male back on the scene, giving some affection to mum there. Isn't that sweet? It's beautiful, despite being carnivores and having to be a bit savage when it comes to getting food. Just to see, as a family unit and as a pride, all that affection. Zephyr, well, you'd be happy. Oh, oh. Whoa! Nice. So Zephyr, sorry about that. Yes, so the jackal did get in and get themselves a little bite, but after that, I'm not sure if they will be returning. That came out of nowhere. So starting to show a bit of impatience for all of these scavengers now. I'm sure they have been at it for a while now, defending at this carcass. Well, I know that they have been for about 24 hours defending at this carcass and it's getting their feed. Obviously, there has been some successful scavengers, but they've been doing a pretty good job of keeping everyone at bay. This one now checking those hyenas. This young male is usually quite timid, so it's good to see him show a little bit of wow there. Oh, he's getting close to it. Wonder if he's gonna strike. Yep. Keep away, he says. Oh, putting up a good chase there. So, these lions are still very invested in keeping this carcass to their own. The energy expenditure of defending is obviously probably a lot less than the energy that they are in fact gaining from eating. They have definitely gorged away on this thing. It's not a full-grown giraffe, but it's about, if I had to estimate, it would be about 500-600 kilo giraffe, so definitely nowhere near fully grown. That's about 2,000 pounds. Well, this is turning out to be quite an interesting little situation, so I'm going to sit here for a while longer and stake it all out. But it's time to say good morning to Jamie on Bushwalk.
We've got an interesting situation here as well. Not an uncommon situation, but an interesting one nevertheless. I have absolutely no idea what these caterpillars are. And I can tell you that they are exceptionally numerous and that they really, really, really like Welfarias. And in fact, they like wealth areas so much that they've almost completely destroyed the leaves of, or most of the large leaves of this particular plant. And they do so, from what we can see, systematically. So they're these tiny, spiky little caterpillars. And then within, and they produce quite a lot of silk, clearly, because you can see their frass is stuck all around them. And in places where they fed on the leaf before this, you can actually see the remnants of silk trails left behind. Like if I show you, oh, I'm going to wobble if I do that. Try not to wobble the leaf too much. If you look at this leaf that's been devoured. And what's interesting is that they're going only for the top layer of the wealth area. They leave the bottom layer behind. And I'm trying to, I suppose it makes some sense in that the bottom leaf layer is really largely based on protecting the stoma of the leaf. And it doesn't really play any major function in terms of storage of nutrients or photosynthesis. Fleetwood Fleet says a herd of caterpillars, indeed. It's positively a veritable stampede of caterpillars. And I'm really curious to see if any of you know what they are, or indeed with access to Google, if you know what it is. Jones says a convention of caterpillars. I would say for the wealth area, it's a catastrophe of caterpillars, essentially. Or for, if they all die, it'll be a catacomb of caterpillars. Oh dear, that was really stretching it a little bit. It was definitely stretching it. And I wonder if there's some places where I thought I saw like this, where I'm not sure if they're communal. No, that's a leaf that's dropped over and been sort of bound together by the caterpillar's silk. I wonder if they are communal cocooners. Does that make sense? Well, the fact that there's so much silk being produced makes me think moth. I'm thinking it's a species of moth caterpillar. I could, of course, be talking complete and utter nonsense, but that is what I suspect. So while you do some Google searching to see if you can figure out what this is, because none of us know, you can head across to Toli, who is watching an 8-legged freak.
We're still watching this fascinating thing happening here. So we did have counting, like how long does it take to the spider to make one turn. So it took about 25 seconds. It simply means it takes about a minute to go twice. So now I'm confused because this might be an orb web spider building its nest. Because at first I thought it was a bark spider of some sort. So now it's building. And look at the construction there. So let us get a nice spot to start counting. Maybe you'll get a different counting or different number, different time. So let's start there. Zephyr, yes, it is so fast. So I've stopped and it's still giving me 25 seconds and some few milliseconds. So what's happening now, I think this fella didn't grab an opportunity to have a meal last night. So that's why he's erecting this web on a different spot to try its luck. And it's just right above my bonnet, but I can't even say it, but the web is just here. But I just can see the web's just here, and the bonnet is here. You can only spot this black thing moving there, not the web. This is really amazing. bush is nice and quiet this morning. We have all the birds calling. So while this spider is constructing its nest and maybe it will be lucky to grab a meal this morning, let's go to pet with the lions climbing trees.
Yes, unfortunately we just missed it. Well, we didn't just miss it, but we weren't able to show it to you. So this younger lioness here actually got up in this tree right in front of me here. So this tree right in front of me here has just that little bit of an upwards angle, and then that it was sitting on that little kind of not completely horizontal bit, but where it starts to flatten out a bit there, it was just perched up there. I think it was trying to look for the scavengers because it came down and then did a little bit more of a chase, but it was very, very cool to see. Anyway, I'm just gonna reposition it back around now. Oh, got a bit of play there too. There was a little bit of chasing and playing there as well. Good to see. Must be very happy right now. Oh, Fleming Grimace. What are you smelling there? They're both doing it. I did say that Butternut was scent marking earlier. So a Fleming Grimace is what they were doing with their face just then, kind of sniffing, making a funny face, and it just allows air to get to Jacobson's organ, which can give them a bit of information about the urine who left it. Right, now I am going to have to... Daniel, yes, that tree did have a bit of a bad back, didn't it? A little bit of scoliosis or something. But it was a perfect little perching spot for the lion. Sorry, just going into low range there. Very entertaining morning thus far. Very entertaining indeed. I still want to know where this fourth female has gotten to though. It's not Butternut because we saw her earlier. The younger females are about 2-ish years old. So, not sure whether one would have gone off to mate. Killer imperfection, no luck with the cubs. Sorry, nothing as of yet. I'm going to be watching Butternut closely though, see if she can lead us. Sorry, I'm just going to wait for this vehicle to move around. Oh, it looks like we've got some more play ahead of us. Sorry about this, everybody. Just going to let this vehicle through, or do a 3-point turn before I can get close again. Nice to see a bit of playfulness amongst the lions this morning. Yes, everyone, the lions are very active today. Quite active indeed, and I think it's probably because they have full stomachs and a lot of energy. So they've been lazing around a lot yesterday, metabolizing all of that food, turning it into available energy. And now they are expending that, climbing trees, having a little play fight amongst one another, and chasing off all of the scavengers. I'm just having a bit of a look around now to see if any have been brave enough to return, but it seems like they have this carcass on lock. Luna, a lion cub will stay with its mother for quite a while. Depends whether it is a male or a female. If it is a female, it may very well spend the rest of the mother's life with it in the pride. But if it is a male, well then they'll start to move off once they kind of reach sexual maturity and go nomadic or form a coalition. And that can be anywhere after around the 2-year mark. But with females, they could potentially be with the mothers for as long as the mother lives. If they decide to stay with the pride, in most cases, does happen. And so that's why there's always a lot of affection and a lot of touching amongst lions, because they're always solidifying that bond they have to have. They have to work as a team to be able to survive and thrive, especially when it is females in a pride. But as for being under the direct care of the mother, that will start to stop and ease up at about 6 months. Well, it's very cool that we have all of the, well, now ex-trainees together on this drive today. We're all grown up, and let's see what Trish has got to show you.
Pat really does have everything going on. It's hard to compete with that, don't you think? But in my defense, we did have a side-striped jackal. Yes, we did. For about all of 10 seconds. And then he disappeared into the mist and into the grasses. You can see how tall the grass is. So it was really hard to kind of keep up with him. Even really to spot him in order to keep up with him was really difficult. So what I've decided now, obviously I've seen heaps and heaps of spider webs, but I know that Jamie will touch on it a bit, even Koli did, so we'll keep that for them. In the meantime, I am going to be looking for some tracks, because it does still seem like it's a bit quiet on the reserve. Do we see some here? All antelope, it looks like. Yep, looks like some zebra. Ah, you guys are wondering if it has anything to do with the mist. Oh, sorry about that. And you're talking about the fact that it's a bit quiet today. I also wondered about that, but then I also wonder, are we not finding anything because the mist is obscuring our vision? So I guess it's so-so. We'll see how it goes, but I suppose even for the animals, the mist in some way would obscure their vision. So maybe they feel, well, at least for the herbivores and the antelope, they feel maybe too vulnerable, that a lion could be only a few meters from them and they wouldn't be able to tell. So maybe that's what's keeping them. I mean, we've only really seen one herd of impala, I think, at all. Even out here. But the mist definitely does give a really beautiful smell to the air. It smells a lot like, it reminds me of home, of Durban. Moisture in the air, fresh cut grass and moisture. Really is very nice. So what I've decided to do is go on to Triple M, which is a main sort of road. It's the one you know as the camera killer. I often call it that because it's really heavily corrugated and you go when you drive onto it. But it's a very productive road and you get lots of tracks on it. So we're going to have a look there, despite the fact that we may be shaken and not stirred. So we'll have a look there and see if we can follow up on some tracks. I think that would be good. Indigo girl, you say be careful, something might be lurking in the mist. Well, I'll say I love a good horror story, so let's see how it goes. Maybe there'll be a bush yeti or some sort in the bush. Maybe that's what's keeping all the animals away. Can you imagine? I think it would be quite cool. I'm always one for mystery and out of the ordinary, unexplained events. I do like it. But the scientist in me tells me, stop it, Trishala. Just watch your movies that are like that, because reality is a bit different. So off we go. You can see it's actually really still very misty. Like, if you look just ahead of us, is the car still behind us? It is. Let us just move aside for them so that I can show you just how misty it is. So if you look over onto this side, you can see it's still very, very, very misty. In fact, when I had my torch out just now, when I was trying to look for the little dewdrop spiders in the edges of webs, you could actually see the droplets of little mist, which looked very pretty to me. Now, how beautiful would it be if an elephant just stepped out there? Stunning. And it really is a beautiful morning. It's one of those really, really pretty. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Well, I wonder if I can see it coming across here. Can you see it? No? Anyway, let me send you across to Jamie on Bushwalk, see what her investigations have unfolded, and of course, the mist as well.
Well, this is the lovely thing about this amount of moisture in the air, is that you get this wonderful view of spider webs in the trees, and you actually realize, I don't want to stand in one, so I'm being quite careful as I approach this buffalo thorn, but you actually realize just how many spiders are active on mornings like this morning, because the dew collects on the webs themselves, and you end up with spectacular scenes just like this one. Now this over here, and I'm peering at you through the web, this over here is a tent web spider. It's named, of course, for its sort of characteristic tent web type shape. So with the middle lifted up in a sort of like a circus tent, basically, with a central pole. And in the middle of it, you can actually see the spider that has made this its home. And what a marvelous piece of engineering this web is. Look at the cross strands. Look at the way that it's supported. It actually looks like a safety net almost for a trapeze artist at the bottom. Intricately done, with the center of the center of the web being the home for the spider. And around it, of course, being a catchment web as well as support strands, anchor strands, for the home that it's created. And what I've always marveled at with spiders is just the sheer speed with which, that they're able to create these marvels of construction. Something hardwired into them, that you get the bark spiders that spread their way across trees in the middle of the night, and tent web spiders that create something like this, and orb web spiders, and community nest spiders, and all of that. And right at a basic cellular level, within the DNA of the spider, is an instinct program to know exactly how to build a web that is the right shape for that particular species. And that, to me, is, I don't know, it goes beyond the word extraordinary, actually. It's almost so complex as for us to not be able to grasp, certainly for my level of intelligence. Now, what's often nice, if you look at these webs, is that you can find little kleptoparasites, spiders that, instead of having the web-building capabilities built into their DNA, actually go and live in the home of the other spiders and steal from them. Now, I don't see any in this web. I'm looking. Usually they catch the light. You get little dewdrop or mercury spiders that are waiting to feed off the profits of others, which I think is definitely a metaphor somewhere in there. We all know people like that. Capitalize off other people's hard work. Giraffe Girl says that this is absolutely beautiful. This web is beautiful. I think that's what Giraffe Girl said. To be honest, I was so busy, wrapped up in my train of thought, that I actually wasn't fully listening to what Emma said to me. Sorry, Giraffe Girl. Not that I wasn't listening to you. I was just... Ah, yes, engineering brilliance. Engineering brilliance indeed. And there's other little miniature ones further into, like there. Now, Imogen wants to know how long the web will last. I would say it could easily, especially in a tree like a buffalo thorn, it could easily last for a good couple of weeks if it's a good spot for the spider. Of course, things have the potential to get wrapped up in it or knock it down or break it, but the spider will keep repairing it. But that really depends on the species of spider and where they build their webs. So something like a bark spider, during the course of the night, will wrap up her thread, and she'll chuck it into the air, and the wind will blow it across and anchor itself onto a tree, and then she'll dismantle it the next day. And then she'll start again the next night, and the next night. And the fact that their bodies are able to process that use of resources to produce silk from a body that is, so tiny. In the case of bark spider, a little bigger, and orb spiders a little bit bigger. But the point is that their bodies are able to, every single day for some species, produce a massive amount of silk. And if you were to compress it into a surface area, or if you were to make it into a ball, it would probably be a greater volume than the spider itself. Isn't that a crazy thought? I mean, if you were to take that silk now and break it all down, which of course we would never do because that would be like a child kicking over someone else's sandcastle. If we were to roll that all up into a ball, I reckon it's bigger than that spider. So it's produced something in its own little way that is larger than itself. Which just goes to show, for us small people, anything is possible. Everything is achievable, except perhaps escaping from this buffalo thorn without scraping us. Now, while we head off in search of other marvels of the morning, let's go across to Lauren, who's had her head in the trees, apparently.
Well, I did go on my own mission as promised, and it did indeed involve spots. So we haven't quite located the spots, but do not give up hope yet because we have located the kill. Now, up a tree, you can see we have a dead female impala. Now, this was from a leopard, and the leopard was sighted up the tree with the kill yesterday. So we've came to the area to check it out. The kill is still very much here. There's absolutely no sign of hyenas or anything around, or indeed the leopard itself. So we're thinking about waiting it out because from what we can see, I mean, we don't have the best angle. It does look like this impala is indeed still very much intact. Now, of course, from the other side, if we were to sort of drive around, which we're not going to do, the impala could not be quite as intact as we think it is. But from this angle, it does look like there's a lot left of this impala. So where indeed is the leopard? Now, Manu will give you a great view of this tree, but from my opinion, it doesn't look very leopard friendly. I don't know if you'll agree with me, but it doesn't look like the most ideal tree to stash your kill, but here we are. And this impala is incredibly high up, so I think it would be amazing to see. It would be absolutely amazing to see the leopard climb up this tree. Now, we do have a question. Is this the shepherd's tree male area? And no, I don't believe it is. It is not. So I have no idea which leopard indeed it was that has stashed this kill, but it was seen yesterday up the tree with the kill. So we've came here to investigate, and this is what we have found. So it's rather exciting. As you know, I'm desperate to see a leopard here, but so far no sign. Now, it is still very early in the morning, and it's still very cold, unfortunately. So we are hoping that there is the possibility that whichever leopard has done this will come back and have some more, because it definitely looks like there's a lot left of this kill. And it is definitely an impala, typical leopard style, and it is right next to the river. So we're on the bank here, if you like, which is the perfect location for a leopard to be. So we're scanning around, and we're just hoping that with patience, which I have plenty, we may indeed come across this leopard. So fingers crossed we do, and we're just going to wait it out. So while I cross my fingers and toes and everything else and wait it out, we are going to send you back down to South Africa.
I have a golden thing here, but not a leopard. A village weaver. probably this is a male, but like, where is he? He's gone, but he will be back because he's busy constructing this green and fresh nest you can see here. And we asked ourselves before we went live that why is it constructing the nest so late, because it will be winter season soon. Then there won't be a lot of availability of insects. So I thought that maybe this guy is still sharpening his skills for the next breeding season. And there are females around. Let me use my binos. There are females around. I think these are the dry nests. Or some of the viewers are wondering if the weavers migrate. The weavers, last time I checked, they are nomadic to Africa. So even if they migrate, they will only migrate within the borders of Africa. And then the ones I've seen, more especially the red-headed weaver, they don't really migrate. They just change the coloration out of breeding season. So that's why sometimes we think maybe they are gone somewhere. And they're around. And some of the nests, like the dry ones on top, they are shaking. I think there are chicks inside there. D. Lionheart wants to know why are so many nests in one area. It's how they think will help them from spotting a predator. And if you can check these nests, they are located on overhanging branches. You can see there's water down there. So they think and they hope that maybe a predator won't climb there, because you can see the size of the overhanging branches are so thin. And probably if a cat, like your domestic cat, for example, if it can try and climb there, obviously it won't be possible, I think. And these are the weavers, there's the other one there. And that might be a female. So while I'm trying to check who and what is doing, let's go to Jamie's investigating some dung.
Well, what I can tell you is that I'm almost certain that the peculiar noises last night were indeed rhino. There's been plenty of activity around this morning, and I'm not the only one investigating what they've been up to. So there's a massive, massive dung beetle here. The only one. He must be the happiest dung beetle in the entire world, because there's probably around about, I would say, 20... No, that's a bit much. Let's say 10 kilograms of fresh rhino dung here. So this is an absolute feast for this particular dung beetle, who I think was when we first came in, was just eating. And then as we moved in, it sort of moved possessively across to the dung ball that it had already rolled. So we're reaching the end of dung beetle season. We've got to take advantage of these moments when we have them, because very soon they are all going to be gone and into a process of stasis where basically they will only be seen again during the start, or for the start of the next rainy season, which I always find quite sad. I really enjoy watching dung beetles, as I know Sydney does as well. There's something oddly sympathetic about them. I don't know what it is. At the moment, I actually think it's just, well, he's not doing anything. He was busy, but as soon as the camera came onto him, Then he went dead still. Dingo says, please don't eat it. Now, I'm uncertain here as to whether or not Dingo is referring to the dung beetle eating the dung or to me eating the dung beetle. And I have to tell you, Dingo, that I'm not in any way tempted to eat the dung beetle. Or, you know, in case I'm going to try the rhino dung. I'm afraid to say that neither of those are all that likely. I'm not going to be eating the rhino's dung. I'm not going to be eating the dung beetle either. Look, if you'd asked me around about mid-2017, during the build-up to the Mara, and when we were setting up the camp, you know what, I might have been tempted. At that stage, I would have eaten absolutely anything. We were all relatively hungry, and while I didn't think I was a fussy eater, turns out that I sort of turned my nose up at green bits in my meat, and oh my word, the stories I could tell you. There was no greater joy presented to us than when our kitchen finally opened. So, fortunately, I, unlike this dung beetle, have a variety of options. I'm aware that we're very privileged in our camp to get the food that we do. So no, I'm not in any way tempted to eat it. So don't worry, Dingo. The dung beetle is safe, from me at least. Anything else I cannot vouch for. Craig looks particularly hungry this morning. My stomach's rumbling, but I'm still not that tempted. Now, Sandstar wants to know if this dung beetle is abnormally large. No, it's just a large species of dung beetle. So there are lots and lots of different species of dung beetle. The one that we see the most frequently and the ones that we most often do segments on are the plum-colored ones. And those are the ones that we will see rolling the dung balls. But it's very common to see... Is he flattening it or is he eating there, Craig? Can you tell? Is he eating? You see, he doesn't turn up his nose at a pile of fresh dung. This goes to show. He is. He's eating. He's munching away. Furiously. What was I talking about? Oh, yes, the size of the dung beetle. But it is... The larger species are less frequently seen, but they are here. Dung. Yummy. Imagine a dung beetle cooking show. Like something out of MasterChef. Your presentation is a little lacking. the great dung beetle bake-off. My word, maybe I should have eaten this morning before I went out. Anyway, so while I think about that, off you pop across to Pat, who probably isn't tempted to eat the lion's meal either.
So I do have lines, I promise. I'm just turning around. So I've just been chilling out with Butternut for a little bit. She's come over to a tree by herself and was laying down and now has started limping off with that poor limp, you poor girl. So I'm just gonna stay behind her and kind of follow her a little bit and just see if she does decide to go out again and look for the cubs who right now seem to be absent and I'm hoping are still alive and well. But the only way we can really know is just by keeping on Butternut's tail and seeing where she does lead us. Obviously, when we left her last night, she was over the other side of the road searching for her cubs, and I just felt like the engine noise was interfering a little bit too much with her contact calling. But this morning, she's a bit quieter, and I wonder if she is searching it now or whether she is just moving it to another tree. Now, seeing as we do have all of the is there a difference between the lifespan of a juvenile lion and adult lion from Kefa? Well, that one's a bit tricky to answer because, I mean, a Juma lion. A Juma lion and a, yeah, a Juma lion. Sorry. I actually have no idea about that. I do know the average lifespan of a lion, but I would assume out here in the Mara perhaps a little bit longer just because of food availability. But I honestly have no statistics to back that up. That's just my best guess. Looks like Butternut's going down in the shade. Poor girl, that limp. She's been in the wars lately. I did have said that she has had these black dots all over her neck that have cleared up, but there are still a few remnants, and now the limp and missing presumed gone cubs as well. Hard life of a lion. Now, as we are having all of the old trainees on the drive, and Jamie as well, on all of our training drives, we used to sometimes refer, more so Lauren than any of the others, would refer to Jamie as Mama Jamie, because we looked up to her as a mother figure. So I think at every link for the rest of the drive, we shall refer to her as Mama Jamie, just for old times' sake. So it looks like Butternut has gone flat here, so I am going to move back over to the carcass now and see what is happening over there. I wonder whether these hyenas have gotten in or whether they are still making a good defence. Now, I'm just quite curious also as to where the fourth female is. It seems to be Lychee or Lychee, wherever you're from. I'm pretty sure I've seen both the sub-adult females and definitely have seen the sub-adult male, and this one is Butternut here. So by process of elimination, unless I haven't really gotten a good look at one of the other females, so it may very well be her. But yeah, bit interesting, bit interested to see where that one has gotten to as well. If it is Lychee, it could very well be that she has gone off to mate with that male lion that has been hanging around. There's also seems to be a young coalition of male lions. They all look about 2 years old. I bumped into them just over there actually. Whilst I move very slowly over to the other side where the carcass is, I believe Trish has an animal that moves quite slowly. Well, perhaps not an animal, an invertebrate. They're animals.
Checked the main roads, unfortunately. No tracks. It seems very, very quiet. We did find some hyena tracks, but we see them. Ah, I had something about fog and not frog, or frog and not fog. No. Either way. Well done, Pat. And Pat said that we call Jamie Mama Jamie. Of course we do. And she knows it. And I'm telling you that she likes it. You know, when I told you that I grazed my knee after playing tennis, and I said it was just that typical kids falling down graze of knee, and I said all I needed was to roll on the floor saying, "Where's Mama Jamie?" Since my mum isn't here. So she knows it. She knows it. And she's our Mama Jamie. Mama Jamie and Uncle James, right? But we owe it all to them, don't we? I don't think we could ask for better role models in the bush, really. Not at all. So much of our passion comes from them. Passion for the hyenas, for good game drive radio conversation, being concise and clear. All of that comes from them. Now, we still are looking around. I haven't even seen very fresh dung for elephants. Of course, I've seen plenty doves. Because if there's one thing you can rely on, it's the presence of doves. Purple, you want to know if any leopards are about this morning? Oh, Game Drive radio is going off. Still. I found a kill in a tree, but not on our side, unfortunately. And still no leopard around the kill. Now, you asked Purple if we had leopards around at the moment. We haven't had any sightings, and we haven't seen any tracks yet. And I say yet because things can change just like that. And I'm hoping to be the catalyst for that change today. Hopefully see something just pop up. It happens just like that sometimes. You just drive around and there's Tingana sitting in the middle of the road. Or you drive around and there, the Inkahumas are just sitting on the road. So it does happen. Like I said, you can rely on the doves. Always the doves. Well, it seems that Lauren is playing the waiting game and trying to get see if the leopard will finally arrive at her kill. So let's wait with her.
Indeed, Trish, I am waiting for a leopard. I sometimes believe out here you've just got to be patient with some things, take the gamble. Now, many of the leopards here are said to be skittish, some not, some yes. However, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, I can't believe that. There we are. There's two. Oh my God. I can't believe this is happening. Manu, well done there on the other side of the river. There's two leopards. I can't believe that. I'm speechless. Sorry, everyone. I'm completely speechless right now that just happened. That was not planned. I promise we didn't ask those leopards to do that. Okay, we have two leopards, everybody. Mission complete. They're going to walk off. We're not in the best angle. I wonder if they're going to cross this river, which would be delightful to see, but are they going to come to the carcass? You should see Manu's face right now. It's like the happiest I've ever seen him. Hi, guys. Okay, I'm just going to lower my voice a little bit. Obviously, the engine is off. I don't want to turn the engine on because I'm wondering whether these guys are going to both come together up the tree. I can't believe this. I'm squealing inside, but Mummy Jamie told me I'm not allowed to squeal in the bush, so I'm not going to do any more bush squeals. Are they mating? Are they mating? Oh. Okay, I'm sort of internally battling with myself to move the car or not, because once we turn this engine on, if they are skittish, then they may not approach, and we're next to the kill and they are on the other side of the river. So decision time. I don't want to lose sight of them. This is incredible. Okay. I'm going to turn the engine on and hopefully we can just get another better view of them. I think they're going to cross the river and come here. I can't believe that. Yes. I'm so happy. Okay, we're just going to get a little bit of a better view. Hopefully. Okay. I can't see them. Can you see them, Manu? Oh no, okay. Let me just have a look. Don't go anywhere. Tim is saying the mating pair. I think you're right, Tim. That looked like a potential mating pair, but I was in absolute shock. I'm literally in complete shock right now. My wish list and my dream came true. Okay. They are on the other side of the river unless they have gone down the river bank because we're quite high up, and they could possibly be crossing the river to come up here to the kill. Now, if they're mating, they generally do not tend to prioritise eating. So I'm a little bit confused right now to what is going on, who they are, what sex they were, whether they were male or female. I definitely was not concentrating on that in my excitement. If they are going to come to the kill, if it isn't even is their kill. So this is a huge mystery right now, but I am beyond excited. Can you hear all the birds calling, especially the Egyptian geese? I can see where they're looking, but unfortunately we cannot go any further at the minute. Manu and I are in so much shock. We didn't expect that. We were just discussing, should we go? We were thinking about going. Yeah, Jamie S is saying one looks like a male. I agree. I want to say it was male and female, but I'm always hesitant to say it until I can get a proper good look. I just went into complete meltdown there, so I have no idea. But one did look like a male. I completely agree with you, Jamie. I do think this could be a mating pair, and I do think they could be mating right now. Okay, what I think we might do is potentially try and navigate the area and see if we can get a better view. It's a bit tricky. We can't entirely off-road here, and obviously the kill is right in the tree in front of us. They are there somewhere. We just don't have the view. So potentially we might need some time just to figure out how to get around this and get a better view of them, because I cannot let these two out of my sight. Oh, what a morning. Spots, spots, spots. Not one, but two. Okay, so yeah, we're going to try and reposition, and if anything happens, you will be right back with us. But for now, let's send you across to Pat.
Well, we do have the whole gang accounted for now. So right now we have 3... Oh, hello. Do you want my company this morning again? You like getting up close to me, don't you? Yeah, so we have the whole gang accounted for. So we just left Butternut over at that tree, and now there is 3 females and 1 male who has come up to greet me. Good morning. How are you, fine sir? So it looks like Lychee is walking off to the right, which would leave these two to be the sub-adult females in front of me. I can't see either of their faces though, so I'm not sure which one is the ridge-nose female. Oh, we might be able to get a look. So that looks like a papaya there. And then this must be the ridge-nose female then, by process of elimination. So good, we got all the Owinos accounted for this morning, bar potential cubs, unfortunately. Oh, this is so gorgeous though, having such an up-close encounter, especially when this one came up to us. He just walked over there and plonked himself right down, and now he's just gazing up at us, as if to say, what is that big green machine that you seem to manage to control so very well? So yeah, very nice moments here. Give him a little bit of a... Oh no, I'm not going to be able to do that. I was going to try and do a little bit of trick of the camera. Oh, and I think I must have accidentally gave him a little bit of a fright. I'm sorry, mate. I'm not here to hurt you or steal your food. So you can go back to peacefully resting. I'm just going to try and... Oh, okay, Lauren has leopards. Well done, Lauren. Let's go see it. Woo!
We've got them, they're on the move. They are attempting to cross the river. I don't know why I'm whispering, they're really not that close, but they do appear to be a little bit skittish. There is still 2 of them, and they're going to cross the river. I can't believe this. They're following one another, one is closely behind. I do believe they're aware of our presence because they did keep looking in our direction. I can't believe this. So I know it's not the most perfect view that we have of them right now, but it is the best we can do at the moment. We really just want to see where they're going and what they're up to. Oh, beautiful, right on the bank of the river, and they're just crossing in an area where it's really, really rocky and not deep at all. I'm so happy we've managed to catch a second glimpse of them. Now, for two adults, if it is a male and a female, they would not be together in any other circumstance other than mating. So indeed, it's highly likely this could be a mating pair. And you know what? I'm so ecstatic right now, everybody, I can't actually get my words out, in case you haven't noticed. So why don't you get your words out? I want to hear some one-word tweets from you all, exactly how you feel about this. We came looking for spots and we've ended up with 2 leopards here in the Mara. So send your one-word tweets to #SafariLive. Now we're going to move back. And very carefully try and see if we can get another view of them. I don't want to lose them out of my sight. We can just see the river crossing there, so we just need to get into a better position and hopefully clock eyes on this pair again. If this is a mating pair, this is incredible. Oh, right, I'm gonna go around this way. Best sighting ever. I know, Kimberly, I know. Okay. Manu's got them. Yeah, I was just thinking this. Some people are wondering if it's mother and cub. This could also be a potential idea. I'm really not entirely sure. I'm too hesitant to say in case I get it wrong. I'm hoping that they come closer, and I don't know if they're after this kill or not. I don't even know if it is their kill. These are all questions that unfortunately we don't quite have the answer to. Now they're here, they've crossed, and I think they are exactly making their way to the kill. So what I think we should do is turn around. We need to get into position because that tree is right behind us. Don't want to scare them. Just going to do a big U-turn. Yep. Probably the widest U-turn in the world here. And I think they're heading for the kill. Herbo's saying incredible. Yes, I agree. Right, let me just... Okay, we're now back to our sort of original position. And we're right in front of the trees. So if this is their kill and they are coming to eat together, then it very could potentially be mother and cub. It really could be. The impala's right up this tree. They've crossed the river. They're back on the banks with us, and I'm just really not sure what is going to happen right now. I'm still in shock. I don't even know what my one-word tweet would be, to be honest. My brain has gone off. I really have no idea. Now, they're here somewhere. I just can't see them at the minute. But they're somewhere. They crossed quite quickly, and there's nowhere else, really, that they would be coming other than this kill. Otherwise, I would imagine that they would have stayed on the other side of the back. Janine's saying something, but honestly, I have no idea exactly what it is. Maybe Emma can repeat it one more time. I'm giddy, I think. I hope I've got that right. Here we go. She's giddy, Janine. I'm giddy too. I think my brain is not functioning properly. I'm so sorry. This is like my dream sighting. Now they're here. They're really, really, really close to us. So I'm just going to keep my voice down, and I don't want to turn the engine and move from now. Manu's got a good idea exactly where they are. So if they are making this way to the kill, then it could potentially be mother and cub. But one is definitely larger than the other. So it's either male and female or mother and cub. That's the scenario we have here. And this is very, very, very unexpected. This is not what I had in mind for this morning at all. And it just shows you, there we go, we can just see the spots. I know it's not great, but can you just see the spots there? Wow. I think they're going to go up the tree. I think they're heading to the kill. Yep. They're heading to the tree. This is incredible. I wonder if they're going to climb up it. This tree does not look entirely the most comfortable or stable. This is definitely a moment that I think is worth sharing with the wider audience for sure. Welcome everybody. We are here live in the Masai Mara with 2 leopards. We're not 100% sure if it's mother and cub or indeed a mating pair. They have a kill up this tree. It's an impala, a female impala, and I believe it is indeed their kill. And they're at the bottom of the tree right now, and they're just surveying the area, scanning around, making it sure it's safe to head up for their kill. They're going to go for it, I think. There's a leopard right at the bottom, just having a look at exactly how to get up. I can only see one at the minute. No. Yep, I can only see one, but there's definitely 2 leopards here. We just haven't had a perfect enough view to determine exactly what sex they are. As soon as we get a look, we will let you know. My name's Lauren. I have Manu on camera, and this is just an incredible sighting. It's not entirely common to see leopards in the Mara. It's a little bit more trickier, especially to come across 2. Now, they definitely want to get up there for the kill. But I don't know exactly when they're going to make that move. They're hiding just in the shrubbery. There we go, there we go. This one's very small. Very, very small. Yes, Nancy, I agree. This is so exciting. So we've got a very small one just walking by us now. Could potentially be a female or a very young leopard. But because the grass is long here, they're using that to their advantage, and they are slightly hidden, so we don't have the best view of them, but this is just incredible. There's 2 of them, and I do think that they are here after this kill up in the tree. They've just not made the decision to head on up there and get it. Now, where's the other one gone? They're being a little bit skittish, which is why I'm not turning my engine on right now. I'm not repositioning. We're going to have to kind of deal with what we've got right now. We really don't want to scare them away. They crossed the riverbank all the way from the other side, and they've made it towards us. So we just want to see them go up this tree and start feeding on the impala. There's a lot left of the impala. It's definitely not finished. Okay, I think Manu possibly has a view of the leopard. It's over here, right? Okay, I don't want to turn my engine on. This is just so incredible. It's my first time seeing a leopard here in the Masai Mara, and it's very, very exciting. Some of them can be a little bit skittish around vehicles. However, they have indeed came very, very close. Max is saying, I thought we were in Juma. Yes, Max, this is more like Juma than it is Samara. I couldn't believe it. Manu spotted them. Spotted. And I obviously thought it was going to be one leopard, and then all of a sudden another one appeared. If anyone has got good screenshots or good visuals and can identify the sex of either of these leopards, of course you would need a good look at the genitals. Please do share it with us, because it happened in such a flash moment for us. I definitely cannot concrete say if it was male or female or 2 females, mother and cub. So if anyone has those, you are welcome to share it with us. And of course, I will go back afterwards and definitely check and hopefully identify what we've seen. Now they're here somewhere. They're probably just in that long grass, and we're just not able to get a proper look at them yet. But they were definitely know this impala's up the tree. I'm just having a look through my binoculars to see if I can see the spots. Brenda's saying nature is incredible, and oh yes, every day there's something new. Okay. Every day, Brenda, nature just blows my mind, especially this morning. Very unexpected moment. So we're just waiting on some movement along the grass. Then you can just see. It's walking in the direction of the tree. Very possibly might go up the tree at this moment. Let's just wait in anticipation and hope that we get a view of the leopard going up the tree towards the impala. There we go. You can actually see the leopard making the decision. It doesn't look like an easy tree to climb up from my point of view, but leopards can always surprise you. They can really pull their bodies up, even the most awkward looking trees. It's right at the bottom of the tree. Any minute now, I think one of them is going to jump up. Jane is saying she hasn't seen a dewlap. Yes, you're correct. Neither have I. So this potentially could be mother and cub. Very similar. If you want to compare it to Juma, you have Tandy and Tlalamba. It could be a very, very similar situation to that. Now, the one that's at the bottom of the tree just now, we know it's not a perfect view, but it's very, very small in size. Very, very petite. So this could indeed be a young leopard. It's very hesitant to jump up the tree. It keeps looking and keeps scanning around. It's not entirely sure, but it appears hungry. Oh, there we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is amazing. This is incredible. There we go. The most awkward looking tree has did it. It's up. It's up the tree. It's still got a bit to go. Look at it scanning. Perfect vantage point to look around and see if there's any scavengers approaching. This is perfect. And it's going to go right up into that awkward looking branch and continue to feed on the impala. Now, some people are asking, is there differences in size between Mara and Juma leopard? I don't believe so. The males are always generally bigger compared to females, but I believe in comparison of the two places, I don't think there's much difference between Mara and Juma leopards. Oh my goodness. That does not look stable at all from where I'm sitting, but he or she has did it. I have a funny feeling this is a female, and she did it. She's right on the impala kill. I have no words. There's no words. This is incredible. She's moving further right to the end of the branch. You be careful up there. It definitely would not be me up there. Now, where is the other leopard? This is absolutely amazing. That's as much as I've got just now. I'm not sure if two leopards would go up the tree at the one time. So I'm just scanning around to see if we can see the other one. Really want to get a view at who they are. But anyway, I'm not going to leave this sighting until we get a sex and a proper identification of these two leopards. This is amazing. This is what I've been dreaming of since day one. You can see that it's not feeding. I really feel this is a female. Little's saying it's good they have 9 lives. Yes, indeed, you are correct. Look at the balance. The skill involved in that. Yeah, there's no testicles, so this is indeed a female, and she's eating the impala. This is definitely a female. I didn't see any of those quite prominent golden testicles that leopards do have. It's 100% a female digging into this impala. Where's the other one? I can't believe this is happening. This has been my dream, as some of you may know, since day one in Namara, and it's happened ×2. Incredible stuff. Leopards are designed to hoist things into tree. They have huge shoulder blades, scapula. They are massive in comparison to the rest of their skeleton, and this is for extra muscle attachment sites. So they've got hugely muscular shoulders in order to pull themselves up and pull their kill up right to the top of the tree. And if you're able to look at this tree, it is a very, very tall tree, and this leopard has somehow managed to pull itself and a female adult impala all the way up to this branch right at the top. And the reason they do this is, of course, to avoid competition, avoid the hyenas, avoid the lions, avoid anything that may come in and try and steal it. Incredible. So they're perfectly adapted for that. And Manu's got sight of the other leopard, I think. I want to know who you are and what you are. Most likely another female, but I cannot confirm that right now, so we really need to get a look at this other leopard that's lurking around. Kim is saying, I guess leopards are not afraid of heights. Indeed, they are not. I, unfortunately, am petrified of heights but love depth, which is very strange, but leopards are perfectly adapted to going up high. They love it. They can go into nests. We've actually even seen footage of one going into a martial eagle's nest to try and get the fledglings. They are very skilled at going up trees and stashing their kill there. Normally we have hyenas around, sort of scouring around the bottom of the tree hoping for some scraps, but this leopard has obviously chosen the perfect tree and there's absolutely nothing around here, so it's got its meal entirely to itself. Now, we were almost going to leave this site because we weren't sure we were going to see a leopard, and we did. So the gamble paid off, and this is just incredible for me. I love leopards, and I can actually hear. I'm not sure you will all be able to hear, but I can hear the crunching and the breaking of branches. So from a very young age, leopards learn to hoist themselves up in trees because sometimes even if they're chased by other predators, they've got nowhere else to go but up a tree. It's the perfect niche. They have found the perfect niche to survive and thrive out here, avoiding other competitors. Now, lions can climb trees, indeed they can, but this one right here is very vertical, very narrow, and they've got the kill position very high. I'm not entirely sure a lion would take that chance on. If a lion was to fall, it could indeed severely injure itself. So this leopard has really nailed it on the head. Desmond's saying, is this a large impala? It's an adult female, so indeed, yes, it is quite large, especially for a young female leopard to hoist up into the tree. It doesn't appear to be a juvenile, and there's no horns, so it's definitely not a male. So from what I can see, it does appear to be an adult impala. So that just shows you the strength this leopard must have to get it, and not only get it up the tree, but to also put it in that position in the tree. That takes skill and it takes a lot of strength, and this is exactly what leopards are built for. They're amazing animals, and what we're seeing right now is exactly what their physique and their body is designed for. So this has been an incredible morning. I am absolutely flabbergasted, is that a word? But thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to stay here. We're not going anywhere. We're going to keep our eyes open for the second leopard who is here somewhere amongst the grass, and we're going to try and find out more about exactly who they are. If you want to continue our journey with us, please do go to YouTube and type in SafariLive. So everybody's still with us. Isn't this just incredible? I think I've said the word incredible like 100 times. I do apologise. I get in trouble sometimes for saying incredible too much, but everything really is incredible. Now, I know it may not be the most ideal view, but we're not moving. I'm not taking that risk. I've decided. Oh, something from the carcass just fell down there. This is a position we are going to stay in, even if it's not ideal. And of course, as I've mentioned, I'm not going anywhere. This is my dream sighting. Manu looks like he's in shock as well. The two of us are just completely shocked. And of course, we are going to stay and try and keep sight for the second leopard. He or she is around here somewhere. So everybody, we're going to stay, and if anything happens, you'll be right back with us. But for now, let's go down to Tolly.
Well done, Lauren. What an amazing sighting. Just imagine the leopards in the Mara. That's so stunning. So with Scuba Steve, But Scuba Steve, oh, he's submerged. I think Scuba Steve is alone here, and I think he's been dumped. The lady left. Snuckle Sarah is gone. Or maybe she's still coming, or she's in the other side of the pool, or where, I don't know, but I didn't see her. Or maybe they have conflict, who knows? And then he's doing what he does best, popping out his head from these beautiful water holes. There's not a lot happening this morning in Buffelshoek. Only I can see this blacksmith lapwing. It was bathing there, but now it stopped. Then there's some preening going on now. I hope this is Scoobet's mom. Who knows? And then the stock and the spoonbills are gone, and we have our famous couple, which is the Egyptian geese on the right. Come in. The comment from, I don't know when Snuckle Sarah left Scuba Steve, but she's not around, or maybe that's what I said. Maybe she's late. She's found herself a nice shade or a nice muddy hole. She'll be back soon. Hopefully she will be. But for now, Scuba Steve is alone, just chilling with his usual friends, the Egyptian geese. They are also preening. Earlier on we had a mist, but now it seems like it's gone. So I'm looking around and listening to the sounds of the wild. Nothing, just few birds. I can hear a pigeon and a bird. I think it's no. We have a pigeon far, but I don't think we can hear it. But I can only hear this this pitching sound, and I'm trying to figure out its call. This one is a green-pet Camaroptera. It's a nice call. Green-pet Camaroptera. It sounds like it's stressed because it's been going on for a while. What's that? An alarm call. I've heard an alarm call. A bushbuck running there. I think I really need to go and have a look. Oh my God. I have a bushbuck alarming on that side. But for now, let's go to Jamie and see what she has for us.
Oh, exciting stuff. I hope that Goli finds whatever it is that is chasing antelope around. It certainly isn't one of these, but that does not make her any less magnificent. And really, really, she is absolutely gorgeous. This is such a beautiful scene, such a beautiful setup. And I think the reason we get so excited, or are getting so excited at the moment with orb web spiders, is just because for the whole of the summer season we haven't seen them. And now all of a sudden they've made this reappearance, and it's going to be so brief before the dry season sets in. I'm used to seeing these guys everywhere, and this is the first proper full-sized golden orb that I've seen, and she's beautiful. She's made a massive web, complete with a larder that she is now returning to. You can see there's a sort of a a string of, what would the word be? Oh, I suppose exoskeletons, but I was trying to think of something more creative and sort of horror movie-esque. And what she's done is she's strung up her larder of victims who've flown into her web, and she's wrapped them up in strong yellow silk or golden silk. And that actually serves two purposes. The reason that it's extended like this, apparently, is because while a fly or something like that won't pay attention to it and will therefore get stuck in a web, something that would walk through it, like a giraffe, for example, or an elephant, might just spot it, and it might stop them and turn them and make them walk the other way. So it's basically like a marker for the large animals that she doesn't want to catch, but she also doesn't want them to destroy her web. Oh, it's such a beautiful scene. I know that sounds weird, but I've really, really missed sightings like this. So she is... Kathy says that is a big pantry. Well, Kathy, she's a big lady. She really, really is. And if I were to... I can't actually, I'm too scared to put my hand close to her. I'm on the wrong side of the web. Usually I would go to the opposite side. But because there's so much webbing around it, I can't actually get close enough to give you a sense of scale. But just believe me when I say that she's the size of my hand. Now, she's a big lady. She needs plenty of food. Now, if those tiny males surrounding her were to make the mistake of attempting to steal from her larder, well, she would be terribly unimpressed with them and probably add them to her food collection. So the life of the male orb-web spider is a tricky one. He's got to play a delicate dance if he wants a chance to mate with the female. He's got to strum a little tune on the right strand of the web, let her know that his intentions are, if not pure, then certainly he would prefer not to be eaten for expressing them. Now this one is going closer and closer to her from above. He is very brave. Is he going to do it? Is he going to approach her? I've actually never seen them approach the female. I've only ever seen them dive off the web to escape her. No, I think that's as close as he's getting. And there's plenty of kleptoparasites in this web as well. There's a dewdrop spider over... Oh, I'm so scared of messing up this. Oh dear, I touched a strand. She's gone. Sorry, girl. Sorry. She hasn't gone far. She's still there. I'm trying to point out the dewdrop spider for Craig. They are literally like little drops of melted silver. They are so beautiful. They're definitely one of my favorite spiders, just for sheer exquisite design. Some of them are really, really small. Well, it's been a truly magnificent morning, and it's gone incredibly quickly, I have to say. All sorts of things happening, and Pat in the Mara, I know, has been enjoying the quietness of his lions.
We have all had quite a good morning, it sounds like. Spiders, scavengers and spots. So would you all just join me for a few seconds giving Lauren a round of applause? That was some epic stuff, finding those leopards. We kind of had a bit of a competition to see who was going to find the first leopard in the Mara, and she has won. Actually, a few days ago we were both out, and I said to everybody whilst we were live, if Lauren found a leopard that drive, that I would make her a vegan meal. Now, she didn't end up finding a leopard that drive, but seeing as she's found two today, I think I'm going to have to do something nice for her. I didn't put the offer on the table to start with, so it's not going to be cooking a vegan meal, but if anyone has any suggestions of something nice that I can do for Lauren for finding those leopards, use the hashtag SafariLive or the YouTube chat stream to tell us your suggestions. So I did just come back around just to check up on Butternut, and she just has been laying around, got up and limped a couple of steps and got back down as well. All of the feeding has kind of ceased around the carcass, so I'm just going to circle back now and just see if any scavengers have come in and where the rest of the pride has gotten to. But I just thought it might be worth just checking in on Butternut one last time, just in case she does move up, but she's looking Unfortunately, quite injured, quite tired, and a very full belly as well. She's one of the only ones that I didn't see feeding too heavily on the carcass. The rest have all gotten in at their fair share over the last 24 hours, but Butternut has been away a bit. Oops. This, I keep accidentally putting reverse as first gear because this gear shift is a little misleading. The reverse is on the complete opposite side of what it actually is when you do it, so it confuses me a little bit. See you, Butternut. I hope that you do get better, and I hope that your cubbies are still around, you beautiful girl. Everyone's saying that I should still make her a meal. Well, I guess so. My hands are tied here, aren't they? If I didn't want to make her a meal, I should have just never brought it up. So I will make you a vegan meal, Lauren. Maybe tonight after we practice some acro yoga. Cameron's saying pad thai. I do actually make a mean pad thai noodles, and I'm sure I could make a vegan pad thai, no worries at all, if we have the ingredients here in camp. So it looks like my decision has been forced upon me. So another Lauren, not this Lauren, Lauren watching along has said that I should make Lauren a coffee at the start of the next drive. Well, I do know that Lauren loves her coffee, so maybe I'll do it every drive for a week. Every drive we're on together, I'll be the coffee guy. But no, I haven't gotten to cook for quite some time, so maybe I should also just cook her a meal. Nothing at all happening at the carcass. Not even a hyena to be seen. Let's go see if I can catch up with the rest of the pride. They kind of moved off. Ah, there they are. Hello. That's actually a really nice shot there. Looking ever so regal beside the tree. Perhaps we'll try and climb it again. That was so cool. I wish you all could have seen that when it climbed at the tree. Nope. Just taking a look, making sure nothing else was going towards the carcass, I think. And don't worry, rest your pretty head, it is completely safe at the moment. Well, where I am right now, it is quite dry, not a whole lot of water about this area, but Trish seems to be seeking out some H2O.
I am checking out some water. We have moved on from the west. I think we have exhausted the west at this point. We find ourselves some water. Now I know that we have a monitor couple that live here, but I haven't seen them. Let's listen to the birds for a second, because I hear one of my favorite calls. Wow, so much going on. So you can hear that of the starlings, and you can hear the kind of the drumming of the kind of territorial drumming of the bearded woodpecker. And then I heard a black-crowned chagra as well. And it went doo doo. See how bad my bird calls are? I can hear my bird in the distance. It's a southern boo-boo. Oh, where have you gone? Orange-breasted bush I sing. Ti-ti-ti-ti. And of course Cape Turtle Dove in the background, which just is always there. I told you, sometimes when I dream, I hear it when I dream. Work harder, work harder. There we have a nice reflection of the clouds above us. Very calming. I think after all the action in the Mara, maybe not, we need a bit of calming. Very cool. I was really hoping for our monitor friends to be here. But nevertheless, I will keep on looking. In the meantime, let me send you back over to Lauren in Kenya in the Masai Mara.
So the situation is still the same here. We have one leopard up the tree. However, the kill has moved. It's looking very unstable there. Unfortunately, the insides are hanging out, and I am not 100% sure how long it will stay up there. I might have to correct myself. I could have sworn it was an impala when we first arrived, but on closer inspection through the camera and the binos, it does look like a Thompson's gazelle. I do apologise about that. I could have sworn it was an impala from far away, but just looking closer at the facial markings there and getting a better indication of the size next to the leopard, it could indeed be a Thompson's gazelle. Now, it's not the most pleasant view of the kill right now. The leopard is indeed really making its way through it, and unfortunately we haven't actually caught sight of the other one. Now, we're not alone at the sighting anymore. There is other vehicles that have joined us, so potentially the other one could be a little bit more skittish now and is hiding. We really haven't caught a sight of it, but we're not going to leave. Of course we're not going to leave. We really want to see exactly what happens here. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think this kill is going to stay at the tree for much longer. It looks very unbalanced here. D-Lions are saying you drop an anchor and enjoy. Absolutely. There's no chance I would leave a sighting like that, D-Lion Heart. I'm still slightly blown away, and I'm still trying to get my head around the potential dynamics here. But both Manu and I discussed it when we were not live. And of course, when we first saw the two, from their behaviour and from the size difference from far away, it did indeed look like a mating pair, as some of you mentioned. But now I'm much more certain it's mother and cub. And we just need to try and get a better look at them, hopefully together. Wouldn't it be ideal to see them together? So most likely in this situation, if I am correct, now please note, this is all speculation. Everything happens so fast, so we're just trying to get our head around it. Mother could have made the kill, stashed it up the tree for her and cub to come and have later on. So indeed, I don't think it was an impala after all. Yeah, it looks much more like a Thompson's from this angle. And the leopard really is thoroughly enjoying his breakfast. And unfortunately, I'm not sure how long this kill is going to stay balanced in the tree for. What a morning. I just really hope this other leopard does come back and grace us with its presence. It will be around. It's just unfortunate. There's lots of trees, bushes, long grass around. So none of this situation looks stable to me at all. But somehow this leopard is managing to stay balanced and managing to eat whilst up the tree on a very narrow branch. This just absolutely baffles me how they're able to do this. It is just incredible. And the wind is blowing. The wind's really picked up. It's actually quite strong. And yet this leopard is absolutely fine up there. Now, if this kill was to drop, obviously, of course, the leopard will run down the tree, but it could potentially change the situation. It could indeed alert other animals, and hyenas could potentially come in, as we are close to a hyena den here. It's a very common area to see hyenas. And Emma just mentioned this leopard has gorgeous eyes. Oh, doesn't she just? A lot of leopards do. My favorite leopard eyes are indeed Kuchavas. They floor me every time I see her. The most beautiful eyes I've ever seen. But this leopard does indeed have beautiful eyes too. I just can't stop watching the level of balance and skill that is going on up this tree here. And of course, once the kill is almost complete, the leopards will just leave it. And they will know that scavengers will come in and they will just leave the kill once they're finished with it. But it's far from complete at the moment. Oh wow, look at you, you are beautiful. And of course the leopard will know it's very safe up the tree. That's the vantage point and the safe point for leopards, to stay up a tree. They know that really, generally, not many animals would come up the tree after them. They do have that advantage over everybody out here. So this is probably why it looks very safe. Green hornet saying, oh, that was she's relocating it. Be careful here if you drop this. Look, she just picked it up in her mouth. Yeah, it was definitely a Thompson's. I do apologise about that. I could have sworn it was an impala, but of course excitement took over me, and indeed it's a Thompson's gazelle. And it's not the most pleasant view, so I do apologise. It's not the nicest thing to look at. So if any of you are sensitive, this might not be ideal, because the leopard is indeed relocating the kill to a lower branch, and lots of the gazelle is indeed hanging out. Wow, look at that. How are you staying balanced up there, girl? Incredible to hold that weight of another dead body in your jaws and navigate around the top of a tree. I can't even get myself... Wow, it's coming down. She's coming down. Oh my goodness. How is she going to get down from here with a gazelle in your mouth? I'm not sure exactly what she's going to do here. She's stable, but from this point of the tree downwards, it's very steep. I think she's going to go for it. She's going to go for it. Look at that. Wow, look at that. Holding on with her front claws. That is incredible. With the kill in her mouth. You are amazing me, girl. And down we go. Wow. The strength and power in that was just absolutely phenomenal. There you go. There's my one word, phenomenal. So Emma's just saying she thinks she just saw the bum of the other leopard in the corner. Okay, we've got visual on her. I didn't, but Emma, you could potentially be 100% correct. It is there somewhere. Now, unfortunately, the cars around us are turning their engine on, which is what I don't want right now. Don't want this leopard to disappear. I was trying to stay quiet without our engines on, but of course, I can't say the same for everyone else. At least we got that amazing view. Okay, we've lost a little bit of sighting of her. She was indeed carrying the kill into the distance. Incredible. So phenomenal is my word, and we are probably going to try and reposition, but indeed we're surrounded by cars, which is incredibly frustrating. So we will indeed let the traffic go and try and see if we can get sight of this leopard and potentially the other one, if indeed Emma did see a bum. I'm more than sure she did. Okay, so just bear with me. So while we're repositioning, it's not ideal at the moment. We are going to send you down to South Africa to my darling Trishala.
I love being the reposition excuse. Every time they reposition, They come to me driving. I'm the scapegoat. Oh well, I don't mind. I do miss Pat and Lauren. We had a wonderful time trading together. Oh, Emma. It's you, Emma. It's you. No, no. I don't mind at all. At least I still get to speak to you guys, which still makes my day most of the time. So I was just driving through the Mulwati, which is our dry riverbed. And I was hoping to find some cool things. Even just I was looking for some mushrooms. You know how I like mushrooms. And even some pretty rocks. I like all these strange small things. All these things give life too. Even the rocks, you think that it doesn't contribute, but it most definitely does. Oh, Steenbokkie. Can never get them. Can never get them. Let's see. Will you stay? Won't you stay? Ah, there you can see a little head popping up. Little lower? Ah, there we go. Hello, you gorgeous thing. Very cute. Close up of and off you go. See a bit of a bum there. Tiny thing. So that is the smallest antelope we get, yeah. Oh, you're being kind to us, are you? It is, it's playing hide and seek. I saw you. How's that stare, guys? So cool. I think this is the first time I've actually gotten one on camera. Luna, you agree with me? Very cute. I also think so. They are tiny. I think they weigh something like 11 kgs. There you go. Eat, eat. Linda, you say it's a fairy tale creature. It's a bit of a fairy tale creature. Now, where have you gone? Disappeared into the lush, long, thick grass. Can you see how easily they can disappear? Well, not just they, most animals now. So we have such a hard time finding them because it's so easy for those animals to actually disappear into the bush. That's a kind of like a black hole of bushness, which I think it's cool. I think it's nice. But when it does get winter, when it gets into the winter and it gets a bit drier and a bit more sparse, it's so much easier to spot animals. It's actually such a difference. It really is. Ah, jumped away and it's gone. Right, let's keep on going. So, why is today special? Today is special because a special biochemist named Sidney Walter Fox was born on this day in 1912, I think. Why is he special? I mean, most of you probably haven't even heard of him. And I only know of him very little bit from like biology lectures and things like that. But he had constructed a really important experiment, and he found that amino acids, little building blocks of life that create proteins, he actually found that at certain temperatures, it was usually like 140 degrees Celsius, that those little amino acids, which are not alive, those are just chemical building blocks, they could actually come together and form little, I wouldn't say organisms, it was not alive, but they had the characteristics of live organisms. So they had cell walls, they were mobile to a point, they could actually move along, and they could bud because it all come together at certain temperatures. And then he actually found out that it doesn't have to be at 140 degrees, it can be at half that temperature, and those little proteins would come together, and he called them proteinoids because they behaved a lot like early bacteria. So he did a lot of work on early life forms and how all of this around us, including us, came to be through those hot vents in the earth, the early earth, billions of years ago, really. So I think that's quite cool. Just a little bit of history for you, some science history. I like doing these because I learn a lot too. Oh, Larissa, I didn't quite get what you said. Do we have spider webs all over us? All right, while we clean ourselves up, let me send you back over to Oli.
I'm not lucky yet, but the kudus and the common taker, we thought it was a pushback because we saw something moving quickly into the bushes there. So now we are from the western part of Buffelshoek. Now we are searching on the eastern part of Buffelshoek. So now on our way to the north part of this area here, which is known as Buffelshoek area. And then before we went live, what happened was we followed the sound, and then we searched there, we searched, and then we decided to track. Few steps from a vehicle, those kudus, they started alarming. And then let's listen a little bit. Maybe we'll be lucky. Who knows? It might be a leopard, it might be lions, it might be a caracal, it might be something interesting. Yes, I'm also crossing my fingers that maybe I'll see something before the end of the drive, because it's not over yet. So for now, while we're looking and searching and listening, let's go to my friend with the lions.
Yes, I have my own animals. We have a jackal right here that is just waiting its turn to come in, but right next to me here we have looks to be a lychee. So she came over because there was a hyena and actually a vulture, so there were a few scavengers starting to make their way in, but still just not looking to want to give up as she's reversing it right into me here. Awesome stuff. I could just about reach out and touch her right now. So cool, but keeping a close guard still. They just don't want to give up this meat. This is really good stuff. The only thing that's kind of tarnishing at this moment is the fact that that carcass is smelling vile and the wind is blowing right into my face right now. Oh, it's just changed direction a little bit though. It's a variable wind, so sometimes it'll blow that way and sometimes it comes right up and we get not the best smell. How are you, Lychee? Are you feeling a bit more content now? Just kind of looking over at me every now and again. I'm glad you feel safe enough to be in my presence. I think if I reached out right now, I could touch her tail. Yeah, we are. We're just enjoying a bit of a yarn. So tell me, how have your last few days been since catching this zebra? I mean, giraffe. She's just thrown me off in her beauty. This is so cool to be so close to such an amazing animal. Just So she was kind of scratching around down here, making a bit of a bed for herself, and has found a very nice position in there. Janet, she is practically climbing on my lap. I think if she came that close, it would be a little bit too much for comfort, but this right now is absolutely perfect. No contact with the vehicle, but close enough that we can just about count the hairs on her bottom. And I can see she's got a little scar just to the back next to her tail there. I wonder how she got that one. But apart from that, looking in great condition. Great condition indeed. I mentioned yesterday I think of Leechy as the shredded one. There's that scar there. Little nick, nothing too bad. Rosemary, it is truly special. I mean, to have encounters with these animals, lions, elephants, and leopards with Lauren just before, to have them all so close in such a calm, I mean, you can't ever say nature is controlled, but kind of in control situation, not completely controlled. Anything could still happen, but I can see that this animal is completely relaxed right now. It moved towards me and, well, it's got its backside facing it towards me, so there is no sign of uncomfortability at all right now. Just soaking it in at the moment. What I'm not soaking in is the smell of this meat. You can see that that carcass is well and truly torn apart now. Lee, yes, they have eaten the head of the giraffe. When I first came to this carcass, the face and the stomach was what was missing. So we can see there that they have ripped the face off that giraffe. There is still a little bit of flesh and bone left there. But yeah, when I first rocked up yesterday morning to this carcass, the face was actually the first thing I noticed was missing, and the stomach. Now just the meaty legs really left, or any place that really has any meat left on it. Yeah, just the legs. The male was really hoeing into those legs before. Obviously getting a bit more to feed than the rest of the girls. It is only 2 years old, but still probably the heaviest member of the pride now. It's looking very big and very healthy, and its stomach, I'm just not going to move right now to show you, but its stomach I wanted to show you all was ballooning out. I don't think I've ever seen such a large stomach on a lion. So he's a growing boy, and he's going to need to be a growing boy, because I said earlier that it seems to be a coalition of 4 young males, I think from the Olololo pride, that are hanging around this area. And so 4 males is obviously stronger than 1. It's not to say that he won't be successful when he does go nomadic, but when you are alone, that does make it a bit harder. He may also join a coalition though. We just do not know what's going to happen when there is a single male in a pride. But for now, he's cashing in on the benefits of being the biggest of the pride. And, well, he is still a little bit timid, but I think once he gets confidence, he's going to be a very nice young male. Sunstyle, sorry if I got that name wrong, they won't generally eat the flesh, so they'll sometimes clean the flesh or clean the meat, but they tend to try and rip through the flesh to get to the meat and the organs. So the flesh, as we can see now, there's still quite a bit of hide left there, so they will try their hardest to kind of strip through the flesh, and you'll see that you will see that quite often when they do make a fresh kill, that the stomach will be one of the first places that they open up, and they can kind of access the animal from the inside out in a way. I got a lovely photo the other morning of one of the smaller cubs, one of the older cubs of the Sausage Tree Pride, half buried inside of a carcass. It was going all the way in. So a little bit gruesome, but also quite funny. Well, this lion seems to have really settled in right here, so I can't really move or do anything, but that's fine. I love it. Chaos Imperfection is saying that the hyena had a neck yesterday. I think that was meant to say a giraffe had a neck, didn't have a neck yesterday. No, its neck has always been somewhat intact with this carcass. It, yeah. Oh, no, she thought the hyena had a neck. Yep. No. So last night a hyena we ran into up on the road was carrying a piece of this giraffe. I wasn't exactly sure where it came from, but one of the viewers said it might be neck. But from looking at this giraffe right now, it is definitely not the neck that it had in its mouth. I'm assuming it would be a portion of one of the legs, perhaps a strip of leg. But yes, it was carrying quite a large strip. Hello, beautiful. Oh, she just looked up at me and gave me a soul-filling stare. That now has turned back around. I just kind of can't keep my eyes off her. It's so special to have lions up this close. Well, I'm going to stay here and just bond with this lion telepathically. In the meantime, let's go catch back up with my girl Trishala.
There is nothing quite like spending some of that time with these animals. They really do stick in your head, all these instances of experiences with them. I can remember some lovely ones. I remember we were babysitting, basically just watching Hosanna until showtime for TV show, and we were watching him and keeping track of him, and he just wasn't doing much. He was just sitting. But then he started to, like, his shoulders went funny and he's arched his back, and I'm thinking, what on earth is he doing? And then he proceeded to throw up. And those type of things, they stick in your head, all these experiences with these animals. And like I said to you before, the one I had with Tingana, when he came super close, and Seb was with me that time, and we had the drone landing. It seemed not to even perturb him at all. And he came so close, and then all of a sudden he just... And he caught us off guard because we were so focused on the drone that we didn't actually watch what was right in front of us, and there he was. And then he proceeded to go to the back of the vehicle and have a seat, of course. I've also had Tandy, where she's walked... We were watching her for a while, and then she walked across the road. Oh, pretty butterflies, hello. She walked across the road, stopped in front of the vehicle, looked at me, and had a poo right in front. And she was looking at me as if I was helping her. So you have really cool experiences. What other ones have I had that were really nice? It is classic Tandy. Just being a bit sassy, of course. Who else have I had one of those really cool experiences with? Oh, Hosanna, I remember the one time he had a kill in the tree. And this is not just one time. He's often had a kill in the tree, and he was on very unstable branches. But he seems to select those branches. And then each time he moves, it would be like a trampoline, you know? It would move up and down. And I kept thinking, oh my God, boy, you're being silly. You're trying to eat and your legs are like being used as suspension. He's been so silly. In fact, you guys can tell me what your favorite kind of situation has been with our leopards or our lions, any of them actually, and use the hashtag SafariLive and let us know. I'd like to know what you think some of your favorite experiences with these guys have been. Oh, once, and it's not one of our characters, but I saw a monitor lizard right at the dam that's near us that I might actually go check out. I saw the monitor lizard. He was in the water and he just got out the water. It looked like a morning swim. He was very comfortable. Everything was fine, not bothering anybody. And then he got dive bombed by 2 lapwings that would just not let him go. And then he'd keep, they can't bring their limbs up straight. They bring it around like that if you've watched a lizard. And he kept doing this and trying to hit them away, and he just wouldn't. He was never fast enough for them. And I thought it was the funniest thing. And then even when he found a little crevice to kind of sit in, they were still going at him. Very, very funny. Oh, and of course the elephant sighting with those 2 rolling over each other. That was unbelievable. That was the funniest thing I have ever seen on safari. Ever. And when the one kind of like kicked the baby, that was really funny. It really did look like my brother and I are fighting when he has my spot and I wanted that spot. And he's like, no, get out my way. Push, push. We built up a nice little repertoire of experiences with these guys. It's nice because you get to know them. And then like the hyenas at the hyena den, when you know them from cub and you watch them grow up, you have such a connection and such a wealth of knowledge about the way that they're growing and the things that you're used to seeing them doing. Or, you can say, when he was little, this is what they used to do, and now they've grown up and they're so much more in control of their, their anal pasting, for example, where they used to go and do everywhere. I love snacks, you say, when Tingana had a bit of a wee on top of Hosanna. Yes, that was that was very funny. It's one of those things that I feel like Hosanna is not accustomed to, but I feel like that would happen and Hosanna would just be like, oh, this is new. Not be offended whatsoever. So now we are at the watering hole where I had my experience with the monitor lizard and the dive bombing lapwings. Hello, goosies. Can we go to any watering hole without you guys around? Let's see what's around here. Well, I really like the marshy edges that have this nice green vegetation around. Hey, Goosey. Can you hear? And it's that one that's making the noise, and the beak is open so little. It's just like a little slit. Well, can we have a show without an appearance of Egyptian geese? I don't think so. Well, in the meantime, I think it's about breakfast time. We should start heading towards the breakfast table. In the meantime, let me send you over to Lauren in the Masai Mara again.
Oh, the Egyptian geese have been very loud here too. They're not happy with the presence of 2 leopards. Now, an update. The leopard, the female leopard, obviously carried that gazelle down and went straight across the river into the thicket. And we just caught the back end of her and she's gone into the thicket. We didn't see if the other leopard indeed followed her. It's not the most ideal viewing platform that we're on, but both of them are definitely on the other side with the kill. So that was just an absolutely incredible morning. I cannot even put it into words. So both Manu and I celebrated with a banana and peanut butter, which we shared. Now, he laughed at me when I first started eating that, and he was like, and I said, don't judge until you try. And he tried it, and he loves it. So we shared with a banana and peanut butter and celebrated because that was one of the most exciting mornings I have had here. And indeed, Manu has never seen 2 leopards together in Namara either. So it's been very, very special for us both. Now, we didn't get the clarification that I really wanted on. I know that one was definitely a female. The other one I assume was female, but again, I'm going to go back afterwards, look over the footage, look over the screenshots, and then of course I will confirm as always when I give my little updates to exactly what they were. It's really hard when you're sitting in the car and the sun is shining on your face and you're trying really hard to look at what is happening in front of you, but you're actually in complete shock and your body just goes into complete and utter meltdown. So yes, one we can definitely clarify was a female, and the other one, of course, I will check up on that, and we will indeed try to figure out through the help of others who they were. I cannot say who they are, but I indeed will try to find out, and of course I will update you as always. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. They are over there somewhere, it's just not possible for us to get there, but at least we had them to ourselves for quite some time before all the other vehicles came in. So my heart is still racing. I don't think I'm going to forget that for a long time. It indeed was absolutely spotty-tastic. I seem to be attracting all the spots out here, from the spotted hyenas, the cheetahs, and indeed the leopards. So hopefully we can actually see them again. And Kevin is saying it was marvellous. Yes, Kevin, it was. I'm so glad everybody enjoyed it and we really managed to get the view that we hoped we were going to get. And I'm also glad we didn't leave, because we did discuss, we sat there and we thought, oh, looking at a dead, which we now know as a gazelle, up a tree is not the ideal thing to look at all morning. So should we leave? And we almost did. So thank goodness we didn't. And thank goodness you were all on board our vehicle with us, asking questions and sending us all your lovely comments. So thank you once again to everybody. And of course, as you all know, we do a sunset safari as well. So please do join us, as you never know what is going to happen. Thank you once again, and see you then.